You know, there comes a time in every man's life when he has to make a decision. And that decision is hating on the Cowboys. And that's what's going to happen on this podcast today, folks. I don't even want to waste any more time. This was a beating. This was a drubbing. It was a sign of things to come. Man, I said I couldn't wait to get to work, and I couldn't because I let everybody have it. And I'm just getting started. This day has just begun. And you know, this is really for this is for everybody. This is for everybody who isn't an actual Saints fan. This is for all those people. And to all those people, I just want to tell you. Oh my gosh. I mean, what else can you say? I was speechless. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. Offensively, there was nothing the Cowboys defense could do. And that was really the only thing I was worried about. I was not afraid one iota of this defense, this so-called defense, the offense of the Cowboys. I wasn't worried about them at all. For the last 5 to 6 years, I've said we've needed a refresh. Pete Carmichael, you know, we appreciate you. Thank you for what you and Sean did. Got us a Super Bowl. We appreciate it. But it just wasn't working anymore. And you could tell that a lot of the stuff he learned and he was able to do under Sean Payton was not the same. And we just kept running the same stuff over and over again, and it just didn't work. Oh my gosh. I'm just seeing people as I'm driving away from go, you know, start my day. I did wear my Saints gear that I wore yesterday. I'm wearing it today at work. Why not? I mean, who cares? Who's going to stop me? I've earned the right to do and wear what I please. But again, I'm going to try not to get too distracted today. I'm going to, no question about it, but I'm going to try my best to stay on topic. I don't want to make this video too long because I want to do another video later, in all seriousness, and breaking down what happened in college football, what happened in the NFL. But this is strictly a Cowboys Saints reaction. There was nothing they could do. Micah Parsons just looked flabbergasted. He couldn't do anything. We doubled him. We at times we ran the opposite side of him. He just could not. We took him away, much like they took away Myles Garrett. We took away Micah Parsons, and the only difference is from those two games is, you see, they won that game and they won it handily. The game was never in question. For us, the last 2 weeks, these games have been over from pretty much from the first drive. The games have been over. We've set the tone. We've gone down and scored, and not field goals, nothing else. We've gone down and we've scored touchdowns, and that's what you have to do against this football team, especially the Cowboys. You can't kick field goals. We got a good field goal kicker, so do they. But it just looked like the life got sucked out of the building pretty much after that Kamara touchdown off the screen. The improvisation by Derek Carr. Everything's working smoothly. The offensive line was a question for me going into the year, with Fuaga coming in, the rookie, and Penning coming in his second year, who's known to be a little rough and physical guy, which we need. We need that toughness. He showed it. He got the little penalty, whatever. But we need that type of guy on the offense that is going to be rough and tough, and kind of like a Taylor Lewan or my boy from the Rams. I can't even think of his name on the top of my head, but Whitworth. You need guys like that to be able to toughen up this line and impose their will while talking to them. And you need that. And it's been a while since we've had that type of toughness up front, at least on the offensive line. We showed it. We've shown it for 2 games. And I want people to realize this. This is not about the Panthers. This is not about the Cowboys, and it won't be about any other team as far as how this season goes. This season, whether we make it to the Super Bowl in our hometown or make it to the playoffs or whatever we do, or not make the playoffs, it's going to be about us and not about any other team, because that's what it has to be. It has to be about what we do, not about anything that anybody else does. We've got a lot of heart. We've got a lot of interesting games on our schedule. We got teams like the Packers and the Chiefs, and much like I've seen so far, the Chiefs, to me, aren't winning the games. That the other teams are just losing them by just doing stupid things, stupid penalties, not going for it in certain situations. So Ravens and Bengals, nasty work against the Chiefs. You guys have given them 2 victories almost, because there's nothing about the Chiefs that I've seen so far that has made me go, they're scary. I just think the first 2 teams that they've played, which we both assumed, everybody thought was going to be playoff teams, and they still might be, but they've given them the game. That's one thing we won't do. If they're going to beat us this year, we got to go to Kansas City. That's one thing we're not going to take. We don't care who we play. We're going to play to the best of our ability. And if we lose, we know we gave it all in the field. But we're not going to be having those procedural offensive penalties that back us up. We're going to go there and have a war with the Chiefs. So that's the game that, in all likelihood, I wish it would. I have to go and check and see what day that game was on. But I would hope it's a primetime game, because I think that nobody was paying attention to us, especially after what we did last week. And they're going to be paying attention to us now. So the spotlight is going to be on us. And that's really one of my biggest concerns for the team. I think the first game was probably a perfect game. I thought the second game, this Cowboys game, I don't believe it was a perfect game. I don't even believe it was close to a perfect game. I thought it was a great game. There was still some defensive holding penalties. We've got to figure out how to play better coverage, and not allow them to even think about throwing a flag. And I believe that one pick that Carr threw was just a bad read. And again, these are things I'm taking away as a fan and a guy who watches all football games, but I'm watching more closely to my Saints than anything. So clean up the turnover, clean up the procedural penalties defensively, and just be an overall better team as far as I'm concerned. Because what I've seen so far is good enough to beat the Chiefs. But the penalties, the turnover, those things, no, that's not going to get it done. So we look good, man. We look good. The Cowboys, I'll let Stephen A. really do most of that, and Dan O. and Shannon Sharp and Mad Dog and those guys ripple. Because I lost my voice yesterday, so I really couldn't say much. And I really can't scream like I want to scream right now. So I'm just going to keep it simple. And like I said, I'll have more on it later. But just about the most quickest reaction I can have is, I just got to laugh. I had the Cowboys going 11-6, and they beat the Browns. I had the Browns beating them, so that would bump them up to 12-5. I also had the Cowboys losing this game. I actually said it on this podcast multiple times. But of course, I set the trap, and Cowboys fans fell for it. So that brings them back down to 11-6, where I had them, which is still good enough. I don't think it's good enough. I believe the Eagles will win the division. Now, we play the Eagles this Sunday, so that wouldn't really help my cause, but I just believe they'll have a better, maybe about 1-game record because of a guy like Saquon Barkley. So the Cowboys will probably get that 5th or 6th spot, which means they'll have to go on the road in a wild card playoff game. And we'll see how that goes out. But no, I'm if we don't do anything else this season, that was the most satisfying victory in Saints history, other than the Super Bowl, of course. That was the most satisfying victory in Saints history. Because I live in Texas, and I get to say, oh my God! But me, Stephen A. and Shan, we got to do I gotta see if they can. We could do like a little triple podcast or something. Just us three. Just for the Cowboys. Just for Cowboys game. Every time they lose, we got to do a pod. Us three together. I think we'd knock it out the park. Because, see, their reasons for hating them are different than my reasons. But we all come together for a common goal of these sorry, no good Cowboys. But, you know, they've got a lot of cupcakes on their schedule here and there, so they'll manage just fine. But the thing that rings true and the thing that's going to give me hope and all my Who Dat Nation fans out there hope, the thing that gives me hope the most is that when the Cowboys play a team that is good to great, playoff level, championship level, they can never get it done. You go back to when they went to Kansas City a couple years ago, they couldn't get it done. You go back to when they played the Ravens, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, couldn't get it done. Every time they play the Niners in the regular season, they can't get it done. They go 1-1 with the Eagles, division rival. You know, you can take that. But they can't seem to win those type of games, which gives me hope to know that the Saints, this is not a bad team. This is not the team last year. This is an entirely different team. Not even now, again, defensively, early on, of course, we get those 2 penalties holding wise, but Adebo did make up for it with the pick. We got to stop the holding penalties because it's not going to help us, especially when we got to go to Kansas City later in the season. You can't have those type of penalties on critical downs, especially on defense, you know, because I think we can run over a lot of teams on this schedule this season. But there's going to be a time where we get stopped. There's going to be a time where the offense doesn't look good in the first half, or it's a mucky defensive game, and that's where we're going to need our defense to step up. Now, they did with the turnovers and really getting after Dak in the second half, but that has to continue in order for us to have any hope or any chance to get to a home Super Bowl. So, you know, that's all I got to say for now. I'll break it down a little more maybe later before the Falcons and Eagles game. Need the Eagles to win so the Falcons can be 0-2, and also so they can be happy and excited going into this Sunday game, which will be, again, looking at this schedule now, if we play at this level or at least close to it all season, we got a lot of games that are going to be huge. So, congratulations to my Saints. Like I said, Dennis Allen has to keep the aggression up, has to keep the fire up, and keep Alvin Kamara playing the best year of his career, and have Derek Carr in the MVP mode, right? Because he is 2 weeks in, he is the leader for the MVP, in my opinion, in 2 weeks through. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens, but it all starts with next week. You got to come back, settle yourselves. You know, went out on the town, you know, in the locker room, you know, celebrating as you should. Now you got to come back home, settle yourself, calm down, and look at the Eagles tape from in Brazil, and then also this game tonight, and you figure out how you can slow down that Eagles offense, because with Barkley back there, they are going to be dangerous. I'm not worried about the defense. The defense is terrible. So I expect us to get close to 40 points yet again. But can we stop them is going to be the key. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So Cowboys got the Ravens at home. King Henry and Lamar, they're 0-2. They desperately need to win to not go 0-3. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting game as well. So, you know, plenty of games to discuss. But like I said, I'll do a bigger, longer video at some point later on in the day before we get to Monday Night Football. But yeah, that's all for now. But just keep laughing if you're a Who Dat fan. Like I said, no matter what happens the rest of the season, living in Texas, I might wear a Saints shirt this entire week. Like I said, we could turn around and the Eagles could just catch us slipping. You never know. It's the NFL, man. But consistency is key. Getting hot at the right time is key. And for us, I just want us to make the playoffs. And obviously I want us to do more than that. But just to be back in the playoffs again after 3 years of not being in it, give us a chance, you know. And let's see. Derek Carr, he looks healthy. He looks focused. The last time he did that, he almost won MVP, and then he got hurt when he was with the Raiders. So He looks healthy. The connection is there. The practice has been there. Shaheed, Olave, Kamara, Hill, no Jawan Johnson. Foster Moreau didn't really even get anything. He just blocked very good. So, man, there is a lot to take from what happened. But again, I'm already looking forward. The game's over. We took care of business. Now we got to face another good NFC East team, another possible playoff team, a team that could be a top 4 seed when it's all said and done, that we might have to see again. So, again, I just hope that we come out and we play the best of our ability and continue it. And that, because that's what it's all about. If you start hot, you got to find a way to finish hot. So, but yeah, that's all from the Junior and Senior podcast. It's been fun, man. I can't wait to see what Stephen A. and the boys got to say. It's just going to be hilarious. But enjoy y'all's Monday. You know, Mondays are a little groggy. But not for Saints fans, baby. We feel great. But all we ask is that you guys keep it going. Keep your foot on these other teams' necks. But that's all for now. I'll talk to y'all later.